A case and PSU for, as I record this, £14.05. How bad can it be? Let's open it and see. Open the box, but maybe I should have kept my money. A fairly inoffensive front panel. If you need drives and devices, it has a 5¼ inch optical drive bay and a 3½ inch bay in which you could fit a media reader. It has one USB 3 port, one USB 2 port, headphone microphone, power switch, reset switch, and a couple of indicator lights. While it's described as being aluminium or a brushed aluminium, I think brushed plastic is a fairer description of that. On the whole, it's it's a case. You could build a computer in it. There's not an awful lot of front ventilation, except, in fact, there isn't, it seems, any front ventilation except for an underhole. At the back, there is the power supply at the top, provision for an 80mm fan beside the I/O shield, and there are 4 slot plate positions, of which the top one is empty and the others are press out. This is a micro ATX case. Both sides are equipped with bulges for additional space, and on the left hand side panel is an additional position for a fan of 80mm or 120mm. Inside there are connectors for the front panel audio, the usual front panel controls, and the USB 2 and USB 3. There is also a non-UK power cable. There is provision for mounting 2 2½ inch drives on the panel, and for mounting a 3½ inch drive on the bottom. There is also room to mount a 3½ inch drive in the top position if you're not using that for an external media bay. Some standoffs are pre-fitted, and there is a small bag of accessories. The edges are actually well turned over, and this case is not a finger cutter. I cannot find any sharp edges in it, so it's not as awful as I thought it might be. Finally, we come to the built-in power supply, which is the Tacens AC4500 500 watt. Well, they call it a 500 watt. With 312 watts stated as available on the 12 volts, this has rather too much of its claimed power rating on the minor rails. It might be safer to consider this a 300 watt power supply in real terms. It also does not carry any 80+ certification at all.